amazing. And you're amazing also, just so you know. Thank you so much for staying with 95.1 Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info is your passionate, trustworthy, and conversational radio. And talk is our business. We do that 247 on this frequency and in a different part of the country that you find Nigeria Info FM. I'm excited to have you join me on this Monday edition of the show. I hope Monday is treating you okay. I hope you're one of those people who is energized and invigorated on a Monday, not one of those who just wake up exhausted, like you're feeling beat up after a fun, relaxed weekend. You get into Monday and you feel like you're feeling like you empty, depleted, like energy has left you. Definitely not to Monday pressing if you fit this box, this description that I gave. But if you're one that is, all right up and excited about Monday and just ready to go, ready to get out of bed and get the week started, you're definitely a Monday lover. And apparently you do love what you do, either school, work, or life. Generally love to be excited about a Monday. Well, I'm super, super excited to be here with you today. And I know there's a lot of interesting, amazing conversation lined up for today that we're going to look at, starting from the roundtable. And then our eyes is on Senegal at the moment with the election that we followed with some interest when Macky Sall wanted to extend the date for the election, saying he wasn't sure about, the individuals in the opposition who were vying for office. And he gave that vibe like he was trying to extend his time in office, which definitely, if you go beyond what is stated in their constitution, like he originally wanted the election to hold in December, it would have been overshooting his time, as a matter of fact. And people started saying maybe he wanted a third term and all whatnot. But eventually, the court compelled him. The Constitutional Court of Senegal compelled him to hold the election and step aside. And he said, yes, April, he was definitely going to do that. He set up the relevant committee and the election held. But little hassle, little drama. And in the lead is the opposition, who apparently, if he's declared winner, will be coming out of prison to the palace, to the presidency. And we'll be talking with Itoemo Edet, who works with the West African Democracy Radio in Senegal, used to be with Nigeria Info FM, to get all the juicy detail. I know he's busy, extremely busy, but I hope we'll be able to get a hold of him at the 5 o'clock hour. By 3 o'clock, we'll be looking at some of the big stories driving conversation in Nigeria. And I would love to get your take, your perspective, your insight to the stories we'll be looking at today. Welcome to the show. My name is Kimberly. Wachko, just call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the Fellow, or Chanyawan, Madam Speaker, and I will say yes, yes, yes to them all. And I've been told we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Facebook is at Nigeria Info Abuja, and YouTube is at Nigeria Info Abuja also. And Twitter handle is at Nigeria Info ABJ. We're on Instagram also at Nigeria Info FM Abuja. And our various numbers to reach us when we open up the phone lines are 0700 951 0000 or 0809 5974869, or you can reach us via WhatsApp. Send a message via WhatsApp or call us via WhatsApp through this number 0809 9930 137. So, are you ready for the roundtable? Well, it's no longer news that the girls and the student and the pupils who were kidnapped from Kuriga in Kaduna State have since been rescued. And there's been a lot of conversation from the morning show up onto the Sunnyside show, getting your perspective, your views to the freed student. About 137 of the school children arrived Kaduna unscathed, unhurt, save for the trauma that they must have gone through in the hands of their abductors. And as much as people are grateful for the news and hopeful that others would also be or released, or whatever the circumstances around there, even though the military is saying that they were rescued in Zamfara State, so it gives the impression like move them from one, and somehow this can still happen. So we have a lot of work on our hands. We have a lot of ground to cover. Was signed by the state governor Ubasani, and says wish to announce that the Kuriga school children have been released. However, the governor clarified that 137 school children were abducted on March 7, 2024, and not 287 children as were previously reported. All right, Mr. Governor, if you insist that it's not 287, I wonder where that clarification didn't come any sooner. But it's left for us to see if there would be cases of perhaps parents complaining of a child or two being left behind, or if we have any concern whatsoever about, already there was a teacher who was killed amongst them, and it tells you that, well, one is missing. A teacher didn't come back with them. Okay, the figure was 28 at this time. I should not bother myself about the figure or number. What is more important is the return of... No, the figure and the number is important. Bother yourself with that, sir. Because if the impression is 287 children and pupils were taken, and then you got 137 back, it's simple mathematics. I'm not even good at maths, but I'm able to subtract to telling you what... So you should... sooner to saying, oh, it wasn't 287, it was this number. We have it on good authority that this is the exact number of people removed, and this is the exact number we got in return. But to start to correct the number after they've been brought back, it might just be coming as an afterthought. I hope we'll be able to correct that. But to say you don't want to bother yourself with the figures is not important. The figure is important because we left one person behind in Dapchi, Leah Sherable, and we're still talking about that one person. So numbers, quite important, I tell you. Okay, so congratulations to everyone, the parent, the student, that they brought them back. Ami said, this is the number. We agree with it. Sadly, one person did not return, the school teacher. And, as much as we're excited and happy about the return of this, could we have a deal and not like this thing happen ever again in Nigeria? And could we understand also how this number of people can be moved long distance with very little intel to establishing that fact until they were got? Now, no detail as to what happened. The impression is a rescue. We'll take it at that. These things always have a way of coming out if it was ransom paid. But we're asking for 1 billion. And so far, we're saying they were rescued. We'll take the words of the authority that it was a rescue and money didn't change hands, because if money changes hand, it gives the impression that we are helping the industry flourish. That's on one hand. And on the second hand, was just one or two, 7 might be asking for too much, of the people behind this heinous crime arrested or neutralized? Or did they get away with it? Did we just get our girls and we're having the photo up, we're all happy, and these criminals have gone, disappeared into thin air, only to reappear a few months down the road and carry out the exact same act of terrorizing the country? So far, no reports of that. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and give the military the benefit of the doubt that they know exactly what they're doing. And we hope to God that they can fish them out, because if you do not, it might embolden others to try something even bigger. And that's where you get a major, major situation on your hand. We have that already. So this is one of the biggest stories Nigerians are talking about. And another story that is taking center stage is how a gentleman escaped from custody. For some time now, the eyes of the CBN and the government has been on Binance as much as they've been on the BDCs and crypto companies and all whatnot, and all the individuals or organizations or groups directly or indirectly responsible for our weak Naira, the speculators that have caused our Naira to weaken so badly that at one point it almost hit 2,000. Well, Binance is going through the eyes, or is in the eyes of the storm, where the federal government, even the legislature, have said that they've got a lot of questions to answer. They need to let us know who those who are transacting. They need to give us data. And accusing them of indirectly funding terrorism and all kinds of laundry allegations and all whatnot. And so some of the heads of the organization were brought in for questioning, and somehow one of them escaped. Yeah, true story, not a movie. The Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, has confirmed the escape of Nadeem Anjawala, I hope I got his name right, the Binance Regional Manager for Africa. A statement by Zachary, Head of Strategic Communications, said preliminary investigation shows that Nadeem fled Nigeria using the smuggled passports. The personnel responsible for the custody of the suspect has been arrested. A thorough investigation is ongoing to unravel the circumstances that led to his escape from lawful detention. On Monday, a report by Premium Times said Binance executive escaped from the Abuja guest house where he and his colleague were detained on March 22nd. He was said to have escaped after a guard on duty led him to a nearby mosque for prayers in the spirit of the ongoing Ramadan fast. And he believed to have flown out of Abuja using a Middle Eastern airline, but how he got on an international flight despite his British passport was unknown. The Office of the National Security Advisor said upon receiving this report, the office took immediate steps in conjunction with relevant security agencies, MDAs, as well as the international community to apprehend the suspect. And security agencies are working with the Interpol for an international arrest warrant on the suspect. And recall that the federal government of Nigeria, like other governments around the world, has been investigating money laundering and terrorism financing transactions perpetrated on the Binance currency exchange platform. You can see we've shifted. It's not about just our Naira and the impact they have on it, but money laundering and terrorism, whatever it is to bring them in the drag networks. Until his escape, Nadeem, who holds British and Kenyan nationalities and serves as Binance African Regional Manager, was being tried by a Nigerian court. The suspect escaped while under a 14-day remand order by a court in Nigeria and was scheduled to appear before the court again on the 4th of April, 2024. Just to give you a little bit more context, on February 28, two of Binance top executive, Nadeem, 37-year-old British Kenyan, and Binance's Regional Manager of Africa, and Tirgan Gambarian, a 39-year-old U.S. citizen and Binance's Head of Financial Crime Compliance, were detained by Nigerian authorities for weeks. The two of them had flown into Nigeria but had their passports seized by the Office of the National Security Advisor. On the 12th of March, Nadeem was transferred to a local hospital after he fell ill while in detention in Nigeria. And following the arrest of the two executives as part of a broader clampdown on crypto platform, a federal high court in Abuja ordered Binance Holding Limited to provide the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission with the comprehensive data or information of all the persons from Nigeria trading, every single person from Nigeria trading on their platform. Binance has also been accused of evading tax, which is also another accusation against them, tax evasion in the country, failing to register with the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and also accused of currency speculation. The federal government has requested at least 10 billion naira as retribution from Binance for profiting from its illegal transaction in Nigeria. The big question is, where was Nigeria all this while that they were transacting illegally from the get-go, from the jump, and nothing happened? Another question is, why is it that it's possible for a big organization that trades on so much frequent in terms of currency going in and out of the country could be allowed to do their business without proper registration and documentation if it was required in the first instance? You know, lapses, a lot of questions at this point in time. But it's quite interesting also. He was allowed to go for prayers, which is a decent thing to do, allow you to go for prayers. But somehow he had collaborators enough to hand him his passport and all whatnot and to flee the country. I wish them good luck in finding him. But the case continues and we'll see how Nigeria wraps this particular one up. But yeah, the plot thickens and it gets quite interesting. I don't have a guest with me in the studio. 2 stories down. We've got 2 more to go. So 1 more to go, really. So 1 more. The first one wasn't technically part of it. So you can call in if you haven't shared your thought on any of the stories saying it was brought up on Nigeria Info. Feel free to give us your perspective. 0700 951 0000. Or you can call 0809 5974 869 or call us via WhatsApp on 0809 9930137. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Kimberly. How are you?
I am fine and well. Good to hear from you, sir.
Thank you. Ramadan Karim to you and your loved ones.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I will not say I'm not interested in your two.
Hello?
I will not say I'm not interested in your two breakthrough stories, but my focus is on the triumph of opposition leader in Senegal. Congratulations to him. Despite all the operation and the injustice against him, he still triumph. Congratulations. That is my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we'll be talking with Tito Imoezet at the 5 o'clock hour, getting all the juicy details. Hello, welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Thank you, my dear. God bless you. I just, Mr. Waka, happy Salah. Happy
Ramadan.
To you. May God accept all of you, the fasting. Thank you. This is Ariel Mikole. I greet everybody. Kim, wonders are never end in Nigeria. Did you know where this incident of finance man happened? It happened in the office of NSA, which is 5 minutes drive to inside Pillar. See, a lot of saboteurs, they are in all our security agencies. Look at now, they are playing politics of religion sympathy. Let's say he is not in Nigeria, but please allow me to go to mosque. This is what happened in Sam 5 team. During a former Babalogo, Aliu Biu with Umar Mustafa, they were the one who escaped, and they are the one who led the killing of apostates. If you recall in Apo year, the other guy was about to convert. They said that he escaped from a mosque. So is it what we, if anybody wants to show that he mean well for this country, including Mr. President, all of them, all the secretaries should be behind the bar now. We don't want to hear it. How did they bring Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya? Thank God. He ran back to Kenya. They have been planning this thing for long. He escaped yesterday and he went to airport. Who arranged the car that he took? Where did he get the money? Where did he get money to pay for flight? You see, that's why this insecurity will not end. A lot of people are using it making money. Look at them now, security agency, but they have power over masses. Innocent Nigeria. Somebody who is trying to destroy Nigeria, they are lying to go because he said to them, Kim, you people.
Well, you don't want to say because he settled them. Maybe one or two persons would.
This is what is going on, Kim. It has been happening for long. It has been happening for long.
All right.
Agree with me, my sister. How did you? Okay, Kim. Can you tell me now in your studio there? I know how many police there. I know the studio. How can I just come and take your car away and go and the security there will not aware? Not to talk of NSA office. It's close to FCM. Do you know the security that is there? DSS are there. Police
All
are
right,
there.
Adomi.
What are we saying?
All
They
right.
know what they are saying.
We get your point.
Thank you.
Security breach of the highest order. Hello. Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good. Welcome to the show.
As an oracle, let me ask this question now. To ask oracle. You can be able to detect how this man escaped from NSA office. Do you know that place? Do you know this bottleneck, the security? Before you can even, for you, just try to say you want just to go and see somebody. The car security for that place, my sister. And this man, from that place, he escaped. He disappeared from Nigeria. So as an oracle, I'm asking questions. Maybe you can take and tell us, I don't know, maybe you may be a digital oracle or be the local one, justice of peace can be able to ascertain that. So you too, as an oracle, where do you think this man will be now? The oracle.
My brother, even the oracle is stunned. We're talking about the highest office. So when it comes to intelligence, and it happened, I don't know what else to say at this point in time. And that's how I was coming to you.
The NSA office, National Security Advisor, the man disappeared completely. Then now we are talking of this Kaduna, these children. They kidnapped them in Kaduna. And now, when we are talking, if they are to convert these children, it will take about this cost was about 3 or 4 to convey these people from Kaduna to Zamfara. And from Kaduna to Zamfara is about 337 kilometers. From Kaduna to Zamfara is 337 kilometers. They transport them from Kaduna to any point. Well, in fact, I'm just imagine. I just imagine. This thing has been cracking in fact, my wife called me this morning. She said, jubilating. These children are, yes, I say I'm happy. But the problem, how do they transport these children from Kaduna to Zamfara? Now they say they rescue them. They secure their release. Who are the people? Didn't they get those people behind it? See, this thing will keep reoccurring until they deal with the criminals. Do you know how many schools have been shut down in Kaduna? We are still talking of Bethel Baptist. It has been shut down completely. We are still talking of Greenfield University. It has shut down. See, from Wuse here, if you are going to Kaduna from Wuse, that public jet school has been down. That Islamic boarding school from Diko has been shut down. Boko Haram and the bandits are making education now to be a problem in this country. Thank you, my sister.
Thank you very much. You know, the rescue of these school children begs a lot of questions at this point in time, you know, from where they were abducted and where they were found. The modus operandi, perhaps the military is holding that close to his chest at the moment, but 1, 2, 3 of the abductors, nobody arrested, neutralized. Perhaps more details will emerge. Hello?
Good afternoon, Sister K.
Yes, you are welcome. Good afternoon.
Mr. Pius, welcome.
Go ahead, Mr. Pius.
I think now our government should now know that our citizens can never be led by the nose any longer. So they should always come clean on issues of national importance like this. Like the escape of the man that is from NSA custody. Sister K, I want to ask. By now, the Minister of Interior, the head of immigration, and all the immigration officers that were on duty on the day he traveled, where are they? Who boarded the manifest? Who boarded that plane? I think by now, the Minister of Interior, the head of immigration, and all the immigration officers that were supposed to be on duty that day at the international airport, and whoever boarded that plane, all of them should be behind bars by now. Do you understand? It is a conspiracy of the highest order, and there's no how all these things can happen without these food soldiers that I mentioned, without them being in the true picture of what has actually happened. If the traveling document were seized, how did he get them back to board that plane on that very day? Who did the checking counter? Who checked him? Who cleared him at the international airport there? So I think there's a lot of questions for government to answer. For most of the immigration officers, there is immigration board himself. I think she's a
All right.
I think she's a woman that headed that place now. She has a lot of explanations to make.
All right.
Including the Minister of Interior. They should come clean on these people.
All right, Mr. Pius. Thank you very much. Hello? Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kim.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. This is Comrade Haruna on the line.
Comrade Haruna, go ahead.
Thank you. Kim, you fly alone today?
Yes.
Okay. Kim, issue of, I think that Kaduna State Governor, he should refer to journalists who are asking him questions. If you don't have answer to the question, you have every right to just say, please, for now, I can't answer that question. But we're just so much concerned that the 130 something has been released, and that is the number they have. But when the news broke out and he's been taken all over the world, 280 something students has been kidnapped.
Yeah.
87 has been kidnapped. Did not come out and debunk that figure. You understand? Please, they should take life very, very serious. These children deserve a decent life. If their life were being ruined when they were of this children's age, would they be in that position where they are today? These are questions they have. This is the personal question to be asking themselves. Because the life, the privilege they enjoyed during their time, they had free education. These people enjoy almost everything free. But today, Are you telling me those children that have been rescued, if you ask them to go back to school today, do you think they have that interest for education anymore?
Mm-hmm.
This is another question we should be asking ourselves. And the way things are moving, things are turning around now. Kim, I just pray we will find a permanent solution to the kidnapping of 18. In the previous show, Somi was giving statistics of over 700 people mass kidnapping in this country. Has become, maybe if another one happened, they'll forget about the previous one and focus on the one. No proactive measure, no intelligent gathering, nothing.
All right. Thank you very much. And let's, another thing, I quite agree with you, Comrade Haruna, about the aspect of answering the questions. And if unsure, perhaps you could say you do not have that information at the moment. But to wave it away might send the wrong message altogether. For example, saying it's not important, the number. The number is quite important because even one left behind is a problem. And to say that it took over a week for you to clarify the number when we ran with 287, even down to international media, and to say now that they've been rescued because they rescued 137, that is the actual number, makes it a little unacceptable. And secondly, the part where, question about ransom was paid, and he said it's not important if ransom was paid or not. It's very important to ask that question. However, you could say you do not want to respond to it now for some reason, but to say it's not important when we know that the federal government of the country said no ransom will be paid. And a lot of people have said the more we pay ransom, the more you continue to finance the industry. It's a tough call. It's a rock and a hard place to say loved ones, fragile humans like children will be taken away. And a nation is saying, we're not going to do everything within our powers to rescue them, including paying ransom. We're going to do something, so we're not going to do this one. And to have them returned, military said they got them from Zamfara State. Nobody was arrested. No big picture as to how you invaded their camp and all whatnot. And then you're also tight-lipped about if ransom was paid or not. I do not expect the government to admit to paying any ransom, honest to God. The ransom gist is going to come much, much later. These things have a way of coming out. We've had several times when the police will say they rescued people and the family members will say, what rescue? We paid ransom, we collected them ourselves, and we called you and informed you that they have been released. And then you put a statement out. We've had about 2-3 statements that I can recall in Nigeria that the police was quick to admit to doing something that they didn't do, including the military. So if you say it is not important, it's quite important. But to say, okay, you can't respond to that just yet, or this isn't, we'll get to that in the future, that's a different thing altogether. Okay, let's go back. I saw Mary. Mary, I saw that you were trying to call at some point. Please call back. We'd love to get your take. Hello? Yes, you're welcome.
Hello, Adibo.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, Dalo. Please, I want to know the man that escaped from NIC.
The Binance African Regional Officer.
Okay, was escaped and they ran out of country, isn't it?
Yeah, they allowed him go for prayers, and then somehow he prayed and his passport arrived and flight ticket, and he took off.
No. This is Chico calling. In this country, there's nothing we will not see. When we had that so billions was swallowed by a snake. So what do you expect? Now, out of that, did we hear anything about it? Nothing. So, to me, it's not a surprise. So, wake up in the morning, we hear another news. Anything can happen in this country. Well done.
All right, thank you very much. And let's see who else we have waiting. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for picking my call.
You're welcome.
Because I want to enter the church now. I was so scared. If I have entered and come out, I must make this call if I go back. So thank you. This is Mary from Gwagwalada.
Welcome, Mary.
Yes, so the times are strange. if a witch cries in the night, a child dies in the morning, what do you expect? My head, I'm just trying to wrap my head around something. I am thinking, that's my own opinion. I am thinking that this man, this person they are allowed to run away, has something to do with these children that they released. It's like the negotiation. That was the negotiation. I feel it's...
Madam
yes, so
Mary.
that's what I'm thinking in my heart.
Okay, that is your own thought. You're adding 2 plus 2 and coming up with 22.
That's what I'm... Yes, I'm just adding 2 and 2 together.
I see.
We could... So, because they said they finance... Didn't they say they were financing terrorism or something? So, okay, you carried our person, release him, we will release your children for you. So, I'm sure that's what happened. They just say, okay, this is what we are going to do. This also release the children, just carry them somewhere, release them and let the man go. And that's why they are not talking again now. They know. But that's what my heart is telling me.
All right.
That he could be, yes, he could be part of the people sponsoring those people doing those things they are doing. So it's an exchange. Release my person, I release the children, and I've done that. So
interesting.
That's what I think. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mary, for sharing your conspiracy theory with us. Now, let's go to Facebook and look at some of the comments. George Daniel is watching us. Yes, George. Thank you so much for joining the roundtable. It says, on the northern Nigerian kidnap problem, the leaders are the problem. They are the number one defenders of all of this. They embolden them by defending them. They put it in their mouths that they are fighting for some sort of right. Bauchi State Governor even told everyone on national TV that they have the right to carry guns. God help us all. Who has the right to carry guns? I'll have to check that up. He said people have a right to carry guns to defend themselves, or the herders or bandit. Hafsat Muazu says, good afternoon, the Oracle. Maxwell Marcos, I see you also. Thank you very much, Kim. They allow him go for prayer. Somehow his passport arrived. And but that's the scenario they painted. They allowed him to go out for prayer. And he prayed. And miraculously, his passport appeared. A flight ticket appeared. A ride to the airport appeared. He checked through all the security checks at the airport. That's a miracle. All right, so I don't know what to say to that. It's one of those ridiculous... I mean, Bob Risky won Best Dressed Female in Nigeria at an award. So, a man going out for prayer and disappearing from that point, it sounds like it fits all the scripts coming out from Nigeria already. Charles F. Young, I see you. Baba Lola, this is Kim, not Swat. Swat is still enjoying her holiday and should be back pretty soon. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Auntie King.
Yes, you are welcome.
My name is Yaya, the head boy.
Yaya, welcome.
Auntie King, it's like, you remember Paul and Silas prayed, huh?
Say what?
Paul and Silas. And that's why the Bina CEO just go and do that, and every door was open, chains were broken.
I just did not want to go the Paul and Silas route, but we'd leave it at that. He prayed, and prison doors were opened.
Were opened. The eyes of the soldiers, the DSS, everyone goes blind, and he just walked his way, and that is the end of Solomon Grande, for God's sake. And see Ikoremadu, that people of his caliber could not even see him and talk to him when they go to London. So look at this man, just freely like that. Our own is done, it's finished, our life. I don't have much to say. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you.
All right. Let's take this call, read some messages, and I'll put out the other story. Hello?
Hello, Kim.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, let me give you a hint, something we can wrap our head on.
Around.
Governor of Kaduna State was with the president during the Qatar visit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
then they picked one governor from the northeast, northwest. Zulum also went on that meeting, right?
Please don't tell me it's another conspiracy theory you're trying to spew on air. I'm trying to digest the one Mary dropped.
I'm not giving a conspiracy theory. I'm just showing you how things are related.
Okay.
Right? Now, the Kaduna State Governor and Erufai, they had a little bit of a fracas before he entered. Now, these children that were kidnapped and moved from, maybe they did not pass the major road, the federal road, or the state road from Kaduna to Zamfara state. That is what they want us to believe. Now, the governor, I think it was that weekend of the Qatar trip that they took these girls, these pupils and students. I think it was that same week of the Qatar trip.
Which Qatar trip? These girls were taken last week.
Yeah, the Qatar trip was sometime 2 weeks ago or so.
Go ahead. Let's see where you're going with this.
Okay, so now they took the girls and they saw, the military said they saw them in Zamfara State. There was no exchange of fire. There was no ransom paid. There was nothing. Now, cast your mind back 2012, when 2014, when the Chibok girls were apprehended, and all of a sudden they said they rescued some, and people were having doubts in the people they rescued, because one, they were looking well fed, not, they were not looking malnourished, and people that came out of the train kidnapped, they were looking malnourished and, sickly somehow. So we can see.
Your story, you're trying to tie too many things together. Network is not even allowing you. You should have just kept it simple like Mary's own. Mary says in her head, 2 + 2 is 22. Your own, you want to find X, which is very impossible in this equation. Everything in Nigeria now, you can't find X. Any attempt to do that, you will bust your head. It's become so complex, the mathematics of what's happening in Nigeria. And even more complex, this insecurity is becoming almost ridiculous right now. The story, the twist, the turn is borderline ridiculous. And I doubt anybody is really buying word for word what is coming from the government. They're not serious just yet. When they are, would know. All right. Eguche Paul says, good afternoon. Watching from Bida. Hi, Paul. That's my town. School's there. 6 years, secondary school. So, yeah. Thank you for watching us from Bida town. And James said the connivance, collusion, conspiracy to let that Binance guy escape must have come from very high quarters. I mean, given where he escaped from, there's no way, it's not even possible for him to escape that easily if it was not endorsed by certain individuals high up there. Another story no one is buying, I promise you. So, Mr. Webb says the government has rescued the kidnapped pupils, good, but they didn't tell us how many terrorists were killed in the series. Netflix should just be running a series on the happening going on in this country. Adebare Owodoye came, Nigeria is like Z-World, full of funny and wild stories. We're just, it says what's going on in Shameless. So bandit was killed, no bandits killed or arrested during the rescue operation. Binance suspect escaped like Kabiru Sokoto Abid Alamesia. Like, guys. Oludade Abiodun says the security operatives in Nigeria need to do more because these guys in human skin really need to pay for their crime. I want to believe that the guy seconded with the help of the guard around him and they must be made to face the law, says Oludade Abiodun. How does the military want us to forge ahead without the detail behind their release? Are we that daft? Will the bandits shake hands with the military and then hand over the children just like that? The more you heard information, the more you make room for fake news, says OGB. A lot of lapses on the Binance's case. Laughable lapses, they really are. I rest my case. Adinuba from FCT sent that when. Can this eccentric man make his point? Okay. Who is this Prince Okifo? All right. I'm waiting for what Mr. President will say about the Binance's man escape. FG should just tell us the man was allowed to go. So they allow him out to go and pray outside. Can't the man pray inside the custody? Let nobody fool anybody. They can only fool themselves, not Nigeria. Shewa Diogbo from Gwarimpa sent that one in. My problem is not the news, kidnap or escape. My problem is the government, not ashamed to explain bit of incompetence. God will help us, Ogala from Kubwa. Kim, if you ask me now who I go ask, I beg free me. Nigeria is a theater of mockery where brood of vipers run the street unchecked. Yes. Let's read through the rest. Okay. All right. It has become clear that we are a nation of uncoordinated citizens. Nigeria has become a sweet pain in... Okay. All right. Obina. I see. The Oracle, you see why insecurity would not end? In the office of the National Security Advisor, not a local security officer, in his office has a mosque. The question is, who was with him? How did he move out of their sight? Who gave him passport? Who took the flight? How did he get to the airport? Welcome to our students. Many questions, but no wahala. Our own is that the politician should not cause trouble for us in future, says Daniel. Madam Mary, na CIO. I just allow Madam Mary. The thing is, kata adada. You know, when there are a lot of plot holes and you want to solve the puzzle yourself and the thing is not fitting, it's not matching properly, you just start to make things up. Madam Mary believes that right now. But, you know, there are a lot of things that have happened. We had a prison break happen shortly before people were rescued from the Kaduna train attack. They were held for a month. And then conveniently, people broke out of prison. Operation went on for hours when people went to remove them from prison. And then shortly after that, people were rescued. You see? Too many plot holes. And people are fitting things randomly on their own and accepting their outcome to saying, you add this, conveniently. I mean, you read James Hadley Chase, you've watched crime movies, you've watched thrillers, you've watched all these kind of spy movies. Just maybe. Because the government is not giving you all the fillers you need. Or maybe they are also, you know, confused as to what is going on, which is very doubtful. If the government is confused, we're all in trouble. The government better not be confused. They better know what they're doing with what is going on at the moment. And so if you have this one happen, even though it's financial related, it first started with speculation around our currency and that they are the ones that are diverting money. From there, it went to they might be sponsoring terrorism, to other allegations like tax evasion that they've operated for more than 5 years, and somehow we didn't notice all of this until our currency started tanking, and conveniently the man escaped. It might just be a little too much to handle, but let's throw in one more story quickly. And as a nation, we need to find a way to addressing this particular bit of a problem. Now, we know that palliative has come to stay for now in Nigeria. The government seems to think, you know, hands out and all of that is one way to alleviate the sufferings of a lot of people. Now, I appreciate the food and all of that given to poor and vulnerable people. I would love some accountability to be sure some people are not taking more than the poor and vulnerable people are getting in total. However, one area that is becoming a bit more troubling is how we organize ourselves to do this, and the fact that it gets a bit chaotic and leads to death. Just last week, 2 students from Nasarawa State, died at the university because they were trying to share rice. And in a bit to struggle to get the bit of their own portion, it became a bit chaotic, and push came to shove, and before you know it, 2 young ladies were killed in the match, which the state governor is still investigating. No fewer than 4 persons were reportedly trampled to death on Sunday during an attempt to participate in alms-giving exercise at Shafa Holding Limited PLC, Jos Road in Bauchi State. It was gathered that the incident happened at about 10:20 a.m. when the company was holding its annual Zakat exercise, otherwise known as alms-giving, to help the less privileged in the society. The state police public relations officer spoke with the papers. It spoke with Punch and disclosed that 5 persons became unconscious as a result of the stampede, noting that 4 were confirmed dead by the doctor at the Tafawa Balewa Teaching Hospital. He said the command received a distress call at about 10:20 from there. 5 people were brought to the hospital. Some people were confirmed dead, all because they were trying to give. And a lot of people were rushing to receive, and they died. It's not the first, it's not the second, it's not the third. We could bring you a list of the number of times either one person will faint or one person will die or 2 or 3. Even down to customs was trying to give out rice that they seized and people died. So, I don't understand this giving that takes life. We need to coordinate ourselves. We need to just take a step back and also look at how we lose lives on a daily, even over the most littlest thing in the country. Like you're trying to share and say, oh, poor and vulnerable, come and have this, and people will die. We can't coordinate it any better. As a nation, we need to have a conversation. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in any part of the world, but it's one too many and is unacceptable at this point in time. We're going to a quick break. We'll come back. We'll look at some of the comments on YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and we'll take more calls. Please don't go anywhere. Joy is already seated for the news. How are you, Joy?
I'm great, thank you.
All right.
Back to back and back of the biggest talk on your number one.
This is Nigeria Info.